Live stream live, live stream live. Everyone ready? We will start into the session. If anyone needs an invite, tell me now before we all ready up, please. Don't think we do. Ready up, ready up. Bartek, cough, cough. Anyway, hello YouTube, and welcome to the first official ALR League event. I have to say the name slowly or else I'll get it wrong, you see, so I don't want to make the mistake, as that'd be quite bad for the league and how it looks. Anyway, Season 1, Round 1, Australia. Hopefully a thrilling race. I should be spectating, so I don't know why. Yeah, there are the tyre compounds. If I am driving, I may have just made a slight mistake, which I have, so... Wow, what a mistake from me. There we go. So no one yet coming out the pit lane. There we go. So we do have Red, the first driver onto the track. The Alfa Romeo back driver. The league using customized team names because we feel like that's the best. But Red deciding he's going to use Alfa Romeo. So yeah, multiple other drivers coming on the track now. We've got we have Polis here, number 27, as well as Thermeister on the track, and Bartek. Two Shulver's back drivers, the team name instead of Williams. Again, team names are chosen by the team owners, and of course the drivers who are driving for the teams. But as it stands, Red, aka that username, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce because it's Dutch, is going to try and set a pole lap. But the way his car is shaking awfully, I don't believe he'll get that. Yeah, my bad for not going into spectator. So that is... Anyway, Red here, starting his hot lap. We have the telemetry in the top right showing us how fast or slow he is going on this lap. The next driver across the line is Bartek. So yeah, Red, currently the fastest man on the track. His sector 1, we'll get to see as he comes through the track. He goes wide! Red loses it! Massive spin for Red. Shock in the early stages of qualifying as Red loses the rear. He gets going again, but Bartek may have been hindered by the flags. Red slowed down to let him past. So now as it stands, Bartek, who I don't think has the right number set for now, it can be fixed for the next race. Yeah, Bartek, the 38 driver, he's currently on course for pole. So, but yeah, so as it stands, the two Shoulders back drivers currently leading the way. The Ferrari driver of Thermeister is going to be the third driver to cross the line, but I feel like the fastest driver here, the two Shoulders cars now nose to tail with each other as they come across the line. The slipstreaming strategy for the team, it does work, as we do see Red coming into the pit lane. So Red possibly throwing it away. very, very shock moment. If that was on people's guessing cards, then we wouldn't have known. Thermeister's had a moment in the first sector after he sets the third fastest lap. Now he needs to go to team lineups in the Apex Motorsport car. Not the Ferrari, the Apex Motorsport. Again, all the team names are different. So yeah, we do have an active FIA member in the game. We've got more yellows as Thermeister makes his way around the track quite slowly. He's just making his way through to make sure he can try get a good lap in. But anyway, all that matters now is Polaris. I believe I'm saying it right. Polius, even. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I should have checked with him before the session. This is a bad look. He is currently on pole. Driver has pitted. Bartek going for a double push here. We catch him going through the gravel, not managing to spin, so he keeps it on the track. Unlike Red could. So after going wide, he doesn't spin. He keeps it going. Red back out on the track. The Alfa Romeo car, which we can call Alfa Romeo, is circulating the circuit now. Thermeister, I have a feel. Never mind, my feeling was wrong. I thought he was going to go for another push, but I don't think he feels threatened enough to go. So yeah, as it stands, Red, after suffering a spin, currently last. Could we see another shock moment from one of the drivers here later in the session? As we know, damage is on. Not full, it's just on. So... and yes, due to me not clicking spectator, I am forced into a car, which is a bit annoying for the race start, but I will be last. So that shouldn't be any issue for anyone. Yeah, Red here. Again, the Alfa Romeo back driver, the one of the few owner drivers here. Currently on a push lap. We see him here. He manages to make it through the section of the track where he spun. As it currently stands, we won't be able to tell if he's up on his time just yet until he gets across the start-finish line. Through Sector 2, it's a 46.1 so far, the total lap time. Slight lose of the rear through the exit of the very fast chicanes into the very sharp 90-degree right-hander to really mark your finishing of the lap. Through the final chicane here, it's just a very big chicane. It's going to come round the very fast final corner, slight drift to the rear, DRS wide open, Red, the Alfa Romeo driver, sets third place, slows right down afterwards. So as it seems, Red is really out of sync with the rest of the field. Speaking of out of sync with the rest of the field, we see the shoulders back car of Bartek coming out the pit lane now. See yellow flags out for Red. So for the first couple of races, just so the drivers can ease themselves into proper league racing, we're going to have him on standard corner cut levels instead of heightened for obvious reasons. So that way we can have actual sessions where people aren't disqualified for obvious reasons. We do see as well the other Shulver's car coming out the pit lane, red going in. So yeah, Bartek here starting his hot lap, his second hot lap into turn 1, nice and steady on the rear, doesn't want to get that car turned around. Through the secondary straight, not using any DRS there. I'm not sure if that was an issue on his end or what. Yeah, anyway, coming towards the end of the first sector of the lap, he's up on his time by 0.8. So we're going to get our next driver in. We have another driver joining us. Gaggles for Gaggles Autosport, the McLaren-backed driver. So yeah, Thurmeister back out on track as well. As I said, out of sync, he really is. Polaris is also on a lap. I'm going to call him Polaris because it sounds the best. We have a yellow flag. I think it's red coming out the pit lane on the cold tyres. I think he spun, which is what caused that yellow. So Bartek comes across the line, does improve, but doesn't move up in position. So actually a lovely set of numbers here as we see. It's 18, 19, 20, 21. We do see the other Shulver's car here on a push lap. Thurmeister entering his push lap. We do see him powering towards my favorite right-hander. Oh, he makes a mistake. The Williams driver makes a huge mistake. The Williams back driver, sorry, makes a huge mistake. Decides to pit immediately. Thurmeister, though, currently the man who could threaten for pole. If we look at the gap to the leader, it's very close in the lower half. My mistake there, it is very close in the lower half. As Thurmeister sets a purple lap, as we can see, everyone not wanting to use the same tyres for multiple laps. So Bartek's going to come around and do another push. We're going to see here though, can Thurmeister knock Polaris off of pole position? He powers down the main straight without the DRS due to a coding issue with the buttons. Does improve but not position. Oh, and he spins! Whoa! Thurmeister spins, losing his front wing. That is a moment he did not need in this session.
Little insight, Red Racers run over the curb at turn 10.
That's a very good insight from the McLaren-backed driver of Gaggles, who should be able to take control of a car, if I'm not mistaken, and drive.
No, I can't.
It's in the spectate thing. You just spectate menu and then just keep swiping right until it shows AI cars and take one over. Bet you didn't know that. So just X for spectate menu, whatever the button is, and just scroll over to it, and then yeah, you can take control of any car. But anyway, Red finished his lap. We see Gaggles finally managing to get his way here. If he could move down, that'd be very nice. So yeah, Red currently in a half-decent position. P3, unfortunately, is a low field, which means less cars today due to the fact it's new. So yeah, we're watching Thermaster, who's going to make his way back to the pit lane with that very damaged front wing. Oh, and he's wide in the final sector. Keep on him for a bit longer until he enters the pit lane. Keeps going wide due to the damage. Hopefully he'll be able to do his final runs here. We're now watching Gaggles, again, another one of the owner drivers in the league. But as it stands, he's going to be starting last. And I mean last, because at this moment in time, he hasn't set a lap. He's going to have to try and do push. One of the Shoulders cars coming out the pit lane now. The thing is, can Gaggles get on the front row for round 1, season 1? Polaris is in fact on the track now. So Polaris is the Shoulders driver to set another lap. We've got Bartek as well leaving the pit lane for his final hot laps. But Gaggles is about to enter his push lap here. DRS wide open down the main straight. We are across the line. The lap should start counting now, as we see in the top right. Through turn 1, through turn 2, keeping it nice and steady. DRS wide open for the McLaren back driver. Braking into turn 3, very sharp, very tight, into 4 and around 5, a very treacherous corner. We saw Red spinning off the corner here earlier. He doesn't manage to spin into the new reprofiled turn 6, through 7 and 8, yellows in turn 1 for Red. They're not important for now. Now down the back section of the track through 8 and 9. And then we're going to go through the chicane of 10-11 through the sector split. It's our 45-1. It's looking like a very good lap for Gaggles through the chicane. Into turn 12, a very fast kink. Barely even notice it while driving. Into turn 13, the very sharp right-hander keeps it very central. Into 15, I think it is. I've lost track of the corners already. But through the final chicane, into the fast final corner, he does a huge drift on his lap. He taps the wall as well to boot. He's going to come across the line. DRS wide open. It's going to be P4 for now, but he's going to go for a double push here. Red going wide in the middle sector, but it's not going to come to anything. Bartek on a lap, but the man we're looking at now, as there is another yellow, as I think we have issues with Red here. I'm not sure what that was. Polaris, currently the man on pole, currently the man to take pole for season 1, round 1. All cars out on track. Red starting his hot lap. So the first driver to possibly take the flag will be Polaris. He will take the flag. So Polaris is going to cross the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does. A 117. Next car across the track, across the start-finish line, is going to be Bartek in the other Shoulders car here. The real question is, can he do it? Bartek crosses the line, doesn't improve. What can Gaggles do? Crosses the line, doesn't improve either. Need to quickly invite a driver who is missing quali. Comes across the line, does improve, but doesn't take pole. Can Red do anything now? Red comes across the line, doesn't improve. So here we have the current top 5. Can Thermeister, Gaggles, Red, or anyone beat our current pole sitter of Polaris? I am just going to have this delay here so we can try and get 1 or 2 more drivers in. We're not going to start because I have a driver joining. Or I'm having them add me now in a hope that they can get to the race in time. It's starting now, Lupic. So if we don't spam if we don't spam any buttons, please, while making the setup, we should be able to get another driver in. Cough, cough. Don't press A. I made a slight mistake. I will have to retire off the start, which is stupid from me. I cannot invite anyone. Oh wait, invite. I can invite. Red is unbelievably happy. We may have to restart session. We may have to restart session due to this minor multiple issue. Qualifying order will be set anyway. Are all the drivers okay with a quick... Qualifying positions will stay as are, guys. We won't redo quali, we'll just be straight into the race. We do have the quali results, so it will be put in the quali order. It's in order to get a driver in and for me not to be on the grid. Did it? Okay, right. Crap. Can people still hear me in stage? Great. Let me just...
Right, everyone's Instafox has, had a moment.
No, I'm back. We're fine. We're fine.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
We need to restart the stage, the lobby, unfortunately, due to this issue. Everyone will get in the qualifying order that was posted. So Polaris P1. The rest of I have the order on the live stream as well, so I will confirm to you the order will be, in fact... So P1 Polaris, P2 Thermeister, P3 Red, P4 Gaggles, and P5 Bartek. Lewis would be P6. Everyone will get an invite to the lobby. Gaggles, I can hear your background. It's very lovely.
Just to let you know, there has been a red flag for multiple contact off the start.
Right, that is luckily in the old lobby. I need to quickly just get all the settings back in, and I will add the DRS for you, Thermeister, because I know you've been whining about that for a while. I want you to get it fixed for next weekend, please. It did kind of agree to it, but you know, hey ho. Right, loads and settings. Loaded. We just need to change the track, and then I'll get people invited in. Just need to quickly also... DRS assist is back on just for Thermeister. Okay, right. I'm going to invite one of you. Gaggles, you've been invited. I'll invite those who don't have anything else. Lewis, I also don't have a request from you. Did you send me a friend request, Lewis? Because I don't have it. I don't have anything. EA name. Yeah, I don't have anything from you if you look at the live stream. Lewis. So, what? Put your EA name in, and I'll add you. Put it in.
The Fox. Reminder to set yourself to spectator.
I will. Lewis, I need your EA name, or I cannot add you. This whole thing's waiting now because of you at this point in time. I don't care that it's a long one. Just hurry up and send it, so so everyone can publicly shame you. Oh my days. Okay, you haven't changed it. If you make an EA account, you can. Don't bother doing it now. Right, I'm gonna send. Pretty sure that's you. Lewis, I've sent it to you. Okay, right, that was the right thing. Who else do I need to invite? I need to invite them. Lewis, tell me when you've added me back so I can add you in. Gonna refresh. Gonna refresh again. It says you're not online, Lewis. It says you're not online. I don't know why, but I can't. Oh wait. There you are. Invited, Lewis. Right, I am in spectate. So everyone in, please. Everyone get in your right cars. I need to quickly do the grid order. Okay, so P1. Then P2. Lewis is there. FIA member, remember to go as spectator, please. Raven, cough cough. Spectator, please, we cannot start. Well, do not ready up either, please. Thermiter, call them. I know they're your girlfriend or something. So yeah, we have an FIA member who is in a relationship with Thermeister, so congratulate him on that, guys. Publicly congratulate him in the chat. I want to see a little public congratulations for Thermeister for having a successful relationship with a female. First recorded time this has happened as well. There we go. Are all the drivers ready? Yeah, are all the drivers ready then? Okay, lads, keep it appropriate for the chat, please. We need to, yeah, keep it appropriate. If everyone's ready, we'll ready up. Cough cough, Thermeister, and yeah. But yeah, as it stands, waiting on Thermeister to ready up. The FIA member got distracted. How wonderful. Anyway. Gentlemen, I'd get ready looking at the game rather than looking at the Discord chat because it's getting quite crazy there now. Tone it down, please. Link will be... That's a point. I need to post the link in the chat, don't I? That'd be perfect. So the link to the ARL Discord is in the chat. I need to quickly move a driver into the stage. There we go. So, round 1, season 1, the first race of Apex League Racing ALR. I was saying it wrong before. I was saying ARL, which sounds even weirder. So yeah, waiting on drivers. We're in Australia. The first official league race in Apex League Racing history. Damage is on. If you retire, it will be... Yeah, but anyway, the lights are on. And away we go for the first race of the season. It's a very good start there from our pole sitter of Polaris. Bartek's up a couple of places. There's a wide in the back from Red, and as well as that Lupic in the other Gaggles motorsport car is wide. Gaggles himself losing positions. Bartek currently in third position, but as it stands, Polaris leading the way from Thermeister. Oh, Thermeister's wide. It could let Bartek through. There's almost contact between the two drivers here. In fact, there is mega defending going on here. Pit strategies on the screen. There's a fight in the lower half for P4 at the moment. But because of all this fighting, Polaris has shot into the lead by 3.5 seconds on the first lap. There's Red and Lupic are side by side down the back straight. Lupic has the inside line. Is there contact? No. Red gets the current overtake of the weekend with around the outside at the chicane. That is a spectacle to behold. They're still fighting. Oh! There's been a pile-up. I don't know what has happened, but Thermeister and Bartek have made contact, and Gaggles is involved in that as well. I'm completely oblivious to what's just happened there. But mayhem ensues in the final sector of the lap. On the first lap, we do see our current race leader storming into the distance, but the real fight currently is between Alfa Romeo and Gaggles Motorsports, Autosports even. The McLaren-backed team is completely bullying the field at this point. But yeah, as it stands, the two McLarens are in for leading the team standings. Thermeister's round again. It is very much a race to forget for him after suffering a contact with Bartek, unsure as to what, and then again having a spin in the middle sector. Not a race to remember for his team, currently running last in the standings and last overall, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, could we see a very strange pit strategy from the Ferrari back driver? He's round again. Do not know what's happened to him here. The only difference from this session to the last session was the fact we have the DRS thing enabled. So yeah. Anyway, back to our current race leader, Polaris. Currently almost 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. It's going to be a completely dominant display for him. The rest of the field, Gaggles, Red, Lupic, Bartek on the back of this, as we see Thermeister in the pit lane. Pitted from mediums. I don't know which tyre compound he's going on to. He's onto the mediums. So Red, the current only other driver on the medium tyre. But as it stands, it's a very unique strategy. Thermeister saying no grip at all. He's also raging towards Bartek, as we do have an overtake here. Unfortunately missed it from Thermeister pitting, but we do see Red is now ahead of Gaggles. Could we see a fight with DRS? It is enabled at the moment. He's going to have the DRS down the main straight. Red hits the wall. That could have cost him the possible chance he needed to keep this podium. He's going to force Gaggles into the pit lane path. That will be looked at. He's wide regardless. Oh, and he hits him and he's round. Red spins in the middle of the field, in the middle of the pack. Luckily, ghosting's enabled, so everyone can get around him politely. He's back going again. Not good for him. But we do see the two Gaggles cars currently on course for a 2-3 finish, which would currently be the best finishing position in the league, as it is the first race. We have to reiterate this. All of this mayhem is happening due to the fact it's the first race. So I have a feeling when it gets into the later stages of today, and if there is an unfortunate retirement from someone in the field, we could see the race revitalized to what it was mere moments ago. 0 penalties given to anyone. As we can see, current best mover is Lupic. He's up 3 positions off the race start. Do see our current race leader again though, Polaris, 10 seconds up the road from the nearest car, that car being Gaggles, currently 2nd overall. I feel like the FIA will be looking at the incident between Bartek and Thermeister, as that has cost Thermeister the race at the moment. Possible minor damage from the contact has led him to spin a couple of times. He's on the medium tyres, so he should be going much longer into this race than the people around him. He will be lasting longer than Red as well, due to the fact Red started on the medium tyre. So as we see Lupic here, currently in 3rd, he's on course for a P3 finish at this point in time. But as it stands, the race, completely anarchy. Things have happened, things haven't happened, you know. We see the gaps between the cars near equal between Lupic, Gaggles and Bartek, all nearly the same 4-second gap, which is quite impressive to see in this stage in the race. So yeah, unfortunately for Thermeister, he is 33 seconds behind Red. He's going to be using all of his pace, I feel, to try and catch with the leaders, or to just catch up with the pack even. We do see pit strategy boards coming out for those on the strategies. I think McLaren, the McLaren-backed drivers, may be looking for a possible double stack this race. It could go their way, it might not go their way. They need to create a huge gap between each other for the the double stack to work. So yeah, as it stands, not much is happening. As I say that, Bartek has a little moment, slows right down. Bit of a shame we tabbed off of him there, but hey ho, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So as it currently stands, the championship would be led by Polaris, but the Gaggles Autosport team would be collecting probably the same amount of points that they would need to almost tie in the team standings after the first race. So could we see Verstappen-like dominance from Polaris in the league? He's already 10 seconds and we're only on lap 6. He's gained more than a second a lap. Much more than a second a lap. We have a yellow flag. Thermeister again having a moment. Really not his race. Unsure as to what the grip issues are, as traction control is down to the driver's discretion whether they use it or not. So it could be a settings issue for him, or it could just be a general issue with the server. Anyway, back to Polaris leading. Unsure as to what these issues are for Thermeister, but Shelver's back driver currently on course for a very dominant win in the first round of the first ever race in ALR. I have to keep stuttering or else I'm going to say it ARL. Ha! We see Gaggles now with a more sizable gap to Lewis than before. I have a feeling at some point soon Red is going to try battle with Bartek. possibly for P4. It's a very good position, especially as we're going to get more drivers joining throughout the season. P1 Polaris in the pit lane now. So could we see other drivers trying to pit or overcut him? Gaggles stays out. He's going to overtake the lead. Polaris is onto the hard compound of tyre. Vital for people to know. Lupic stays out. Do we see anyone else coming in? Not yet, but that does mean Thermeister gets a bit of grace period. So as it stands, the field is now separated near enough by 4 seconds between them. It's 5-4-4-4. Who's counting? It's a very good number to look at. So could we see a possible issue on cold tyres from Polaris? But I do have a feeling on Gaggles' quite used soft tyre, we could see him trying to fight for the lead. I don't feel he's going to pit this lap, as I know he's very good with tyre degs, especially on these 35% races. So I have a feeling we may have a very good battle indeed on our hands. This may have just helped Thermeister as well. If Thermeister pitted for the hards, that could have been a better strategy for him. He might have been able to make them last longer enough for a safety car to come out if one is called. But as it stands, he needs to try and gain as much time. Gaggles does come into the pit lane, so there won't be any battling for these drivers. As of yet, we see Polaris down the main straight, weaving to keep the heat in the tyres. Lupic is going to inherit P2 in this race, but it's close at the front end of the field at the moment. Red is very close to the back of Bartek. Bartek on the much more worn tyres than Red behind him. It may be close at the end of the pit lane as we have Gaggles coming out here. He is in front of this fight, so he could be at threat from Red behind him. He knows he's not fighting him on track, but he knows he's not fighting him overall, but he's going to be fighting him on the track. Polaris, however, with a massive lead on the field. So Bartek going slightly slower, trying to preserve his soft tyres. We could see a mistake from him on these worn tyres. Red is going to try line up a move on him though. Through turn 6 we go, through 7 into the long curve of 8 before the switchback of 9. Red doesn't have the DRS at this point. He was too far behind, but he is lining up an overtake. Side by side down the straight, almost. Bartek covers off the line. Red almost losing the rear, partially cuts the corner. No penalties handed out there. But Red has the DRS now. He's going to dive down the inside. There is contact. And Bartek is forced miles off the track. Rejoins without crashing. Lupic and Gaggles are getting very close to each other now. So could we see Bartek coming into the pit lane after that near threat? Losing the rear, he does decide to come in. Deciding it's best to get off the tyres while he still can. But currently, Lewis is looking like he's going to need to pit. He's now the only driver to start on the softs who's still on them now. We're halfway through the race. So it could be a case of waiting for a safety car for a set of mediums. Or in fact a set of hards. But I have a feeling a medium set will go the end of the race. We are lap 10, Bartek pitting on lap 9, so we'll do 11 laps on the medium tyre. We could get a fight between him and Thermeister here soon. But as it stands, the two McLarens are frightfully close to each other. Gaggles, the team owner behind Lewis on the used tyre set, will probably be asked to move out the way for him. As team orders come into play, he does have the better tyres. Lewis is going for the long game on the softs. He does let him through. Very much team strategy in 8 there. But could we see Red possibly inherit the position here? Lewis is off! Lewis losing the rear there. Not sure what happened there, but we just caught on the back of the screen. I think he may have a tyre issue now. Very good news for Red. Decides he is coming into the pit lane this lap. It's a very awkward pit lane, this one. Red also in the pit lane. So these guys are going to be fighting. Red's going to be on the soft tyre till the end of the race. due to the alternate strategy. It's the mediums for the McLaren back driver. Yes, red on the softs. Could we see him storming up the field later in the race? It's up for him to decide. Everyone at this point is pitted, but it's going to be red versus Lewis at later point in this lap when the tyres are fully heated up. Lewis has disconnected. We'll try reinvite him here quickly, because we can do that. Invite has been resent to him. He should be okay. I think his car is glitch frozen on the track. Unsure as to why that's happened. But the invite has been resent to him, so he can join back. He's retired. He's been disqualified from the session. Unfortunately for him, due to the disconnection in a weird place. I'm not sure what happened there. It would just be classed as a retirement from the race, not a DSQ. But as it stands, very bizarre circumstances. The yellow flag on the track to clear his car, which is finding a good place to pull off. So unfortunate for him, unfortunate for the team. They were running strong at the start of this race. Red now under threat really from no one. The car close to him is Bartek, but he's slowly falling behind. We'll ride on board quickly with Gaggles so we can try and get a look of where the other car is. Obviously where he retired didn't have any very good positions to have a car pull off. We may see the ghost of the car through the next curve. There. Slow it goes. Trying to pull off the track. Probably will pull off the track at a good place down here. We might have a safety car being triggered, which could be interesting. Let's try and find what happened to Lewis. Whether his Wi-Fi went out or anything, we won't know just yet. Nothing has come from Lewis yet, so I do believe it's been a total Wi-Fi annihilation for him. We do see here though red entering where the car is likely to be. So the car is trying to get its way back to the pit lane, as that is where the disconnection happened on the pit lane exit. So the car will be into the pit lane. No safety cars needed, but an unfortunate glitch for the game for now. So as it stands, red will get his first podium in the league. So the yellow flag unfortunately may be permanent in that part of the track due to this unforeseen glitch. If he keeps circulating, then we're just going to have to try and ignore this. It is a very weird glitch. I've never seen this glitch happen before, but lap 13 of 20, the race coming into its very quiet stage now. The gaps between everyone are pretty massive. We ride on board with our current race leader. Lewis's car has fully made its way off the track now. Lapped cars will be ghosted. Do not know why there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That must have just been a visual glitch with the game there, but hey ho, Bob's your uncle. We'll just quickly show the change in position. So Gaggles is up 2 places where Thermeister started. Red hasn't changed position. As we can see, everyone has made a pit stop. Thermeister currently on 10 lap old medium tyres. So I do think the hard tyres were probably the way to go in this race. We'll keep the statistic up to see how things develop later in the race, because we could see red start zooming towards Gaggles. Yes, they are a sector between them, but we could see massive improvements from any of the drivers on the field now. Thermeister, however, I feel is trying to wait for a safety car if that is caused by a crash or anything on the order. 11 lap old tyres for him Could we see him make the mediums last all the way to the end of the race? We won't know. Ooh, getting a bit frisky there, Thermeister, on his used tyres here. Luckily, he keeps it going in a straight line. But he does have the car of Polaris, our current race leader, behind him. You can slowly hear it in the background. The other car's starting to come into effect. But as it stands, Polaris is going to win. Yeah, we will, I have a feeling, at some point in the final few laps of this race, see Thermeister getting lapped, which could cause some kerfuffle between either of the two drivers in these involved. 8-lap-old hards for our race leader. 5 laps to go of the Grand Prix. We do hear Polaris in the background, riding on board with Polaris now. Is currently the driver up for most positions in this race. Messing with the settings too much. You see the gap from the fastest lap currently is from Polaris, so he would be getting the extra point for the fastest lap. That being a 1:28. As we see though, currently the car ahead is Thermeister. The blue flags will be shown for him. We've not done near a full lap on board with Polaris. He lets him through. Polaris gets through into the lead. Very unfortunate circumstances for Thermeister, who is going quite slow now for some reason. Unsure as to why. I think he was just trying to get clear so we could get back to pushing. Possibly so we can try and get these tyres to last till the end of the race. As it stands, Polaris has a dominant lead on the field, 18 seconds from the nearest car. The pit cycle is really coming into assistance with helping him get to where he is as well. Because under previous pit cycles, we've seen it where he wasn't able to get anywhere in the lead. Bartek pits again. Possibly pit strategy to let his teammate through. Wonder what Bartek's he's put onto the soft tyre. And he's come out ahead of his teammate. So could we see things come into play for other people? Gaggles as well coming into the pit lane. So maybe mediums were not the way to go. I think Gaggles is going to try and go for the fastest lap here. That was a very good pit stop for him. Red, currently the closest man to Gaggles. Bartek as well, a lapped car. Will have to let his teammate through for the lead. But as it stands, less than 3 laps to go of this race. This race has had it all. Mayhem at the starts. Drivers starting high, falling down the grid order. Not over yet. We've had strange pit strategies as Bartek goes wide, interrupting my persuasive speech about the race. He's going to give his teammate here DRS down the straight, I believe. Never mind, Polaris is coming to the pit lane. Whoa. So I think he wants to get off these tyres to try and set a faster lap. I have a feeling he's being threatened by Gaggles here. We look at the fastest laps currently. It is still going to Polaris. Let's see if Gaggles is doing anything this lap. He doesn't appear to be cooking up a lap so far. Let's see, he's going to come across the line. 2 laps to go now. Gaggles doesn't cook just yet because he pitted this lap. Can he cook on this lap though? So we see the gap from the leader. Gaggles, the closest car to Polaris. That is because he pitted. See the interval 18, 17, 29 and then 11. So currently it is a tied gap between Polaris, Gaggles and Red. Gaggles up in sector 1. He is faster in the first sector. Could Gaggles snatch the point for fastest lap away from our race leader? We've got Bartek coming across the line and Thermeister coming across the line. We may see the leader backing out a bit to try and preserve the tyres on the last lap, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. We do see Polaris now down the main straight as we see Thermeister coming into the pit lane, very wisely pitting early. Yeah, Polaris entering the last lap. He's taking turn 1 and 2 for the final time. Thermeister's going to follow him through. Can Gaggles cook this lap? Gaggles takes the fastest lap of the race, a 1:19.9. So as it stands, Gaggles is going to take the extra point for the fastest lap. He's got Thermeister ahead of him, who shouldn't be a hindrance due to the fact he is lapped. But as it currently stands, after taking pole by a very, very large margin to leading the majority of the race, from lap 6 he had a 10-second lead. It's only grown and grown. At one point it was almost 30 seconds in the lead. Polaris marks the history books and takes the win in round 1, season 1. The Shoulders team takes the win. He gets the fastest lap to boot, a 3:05, a 19:3:05. Gaggles is going to come across the line in second. Thermeister in last place, pitting on the final lap. Gaggles is going to come across the line in second, in style. He's lost it across the line. Doesn't matter to him though, his AI has taken control. Red, as Thermeister retires from the session, he was last, he will be counted as finished. Red Racer here, the Flying Dutchman. He's going to be on the podium, making it 3 different constructors. He slows right down to do a burnout. He's going to be third across the line. Bartek, who will be the final man across the start-finish line. He's going to have a slidey rear through the final corners, but Bartek comes across the line to finish P4. Thermeister will be counted as he did finish the race. We're going to get our podium display here in Australia. We're riding on board with Bartek to finish the race. But as it stands, Polaris leads the championship. We'll do race interviews after the podium to keep it realistic. Thurmeister blaming the issues down to tyre grip issues. Britain wins the first race. It's a Britain 1-2 Dutch P3. Ignore the flag for red, he changed it. But as it stands, Polaris takes home 26 points. Thurmeister finishing with 10. 3 different constructors finish on the podium. There we have the official finishing results of the race. All grid positions in the proper order. But that is everything. As we can go to the race director, we can see all the incidents. The DSQ will be a DNF. But as we see collision at the start, Gaggles and Thurmeister getting involved there. Ignore the background audio if it is heard through my mic. I am sorry. We will have an incidents channel being posted after the session, and in fact, if everyone would like to continue, we'll switch over to the Discord screen and we will do interviews. Red has apparently burnt his food as well. So, if the first driver would like to raise their hand to be brought up to speak. We'll bring up Gaggles as our first driver to interview. Gaggles, welcome up. Podium in your first race in the league. How does it feel?
Feels good. A few problems I've had, as in I didn't qualify well because I didn't really get practice.
It's fine. You
as many of you may know, I have injured one of my hands, so it is a bit painful for me to downshift. But so I was not going as low as the gear as I could have, just to try and damage limitation, you could say. Apart from that, very happy. Lewis doing some great strategy until he disconnected with the team.
Yet to see the issue with that so far. We are waiting on a response from him.
Towards the end of the race, there was a bit of a moment where I was like, okay, so Red is 30 seconds behind and Polius is way too far ahead, 20 seconds in front. Yeah. So for me, the best strategy is to go for the fastest lap. Unfortunately, I did it 1 lap too early.
Yeah, I should have probably done it 1 lap too early.
So I should have done it the next lap in hindsight, so then Polius wouldn't have been able to react. Unfortunately, Polius did react, and I didn't get the fastest lap point, but that would have been nice. I saw people pitting, I saw looking at my distances, looking at my setup, timings, everything, just going through everything in the CFDs, everything in the MFDs, and going, right, would be a good idea to pit now, just to get 2 attempts at the fastest lap. What I didn't realise is that gave Polius 1 attempt.
Yeah. So
I should have done it the next lap and risked it. Did 1:19.9, which is personally not a great lap for me. 1:19.5 is sort of where I'm at without ERS on time trials, so I could get down to 1:18.9s maybe if I had ERS proper good lap.
I see.
But yeah, so I'm happy with that. Definitely a bit more improvement to make before the next race. Bit of a way to go, but it's very possible.
Well, that's from you. Would the next driver like to raise their hand? It's Bartek. We'll invite to speak next. If it will let me. There you go, Bartek. You are live on stream. Please don't swear.
Nah, I'm not going to swear.
Thank you. So yeah, how did that race go for you?
Well, it went actually pretty good so far. Polius, you've done pretty good in the race. Well done to you. Just want to say well done. Just had some bit of problem issues with my car. I just, had... You know what I mean? Just
less grip, yeah.
Yeah, less grip.
You weren't the only driver reporting terrible grip conditions, because we had I've forgotten his name, Thurmeister. He was also reporting that there were low grip conditions out on the track.
Yeah, I understand. And basically at the start, Gaggles and Thurmeister had a little bit of a crash into me, so I couldn't
So what happened from your perspective? Because I saw the incident after it happened, if that makes sense. I saw everyone...
It was at the starting of the lap, and then basically just two people just crashed into me. So
Like, was it a sandwich job? Did they like one from each side crash into you?
yeah, it was like a sandwich.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Thermos
but
believes that it was, in fact,
yeah.
your fault, this whole thing. Which
Well,
is a bit
yeah.
of shit, but hey ho, we will allow stuff like that because it is.
Yeah, I just want to say, Polius and Red, you've done pretty good so far in the race. We'll see how we do in the next race.
Right, we do have an incident report that will be sorted out after, but that will be the end of the stream.
Yep.
So thank you all for watching. Thank everyone. We spent an hour here.